I deleted social media, sold my car, and found the one. It still feels strange to say it out loud because for most of my life I thought purpose came from constant motion. More screens, more noise, more things to chase. But somewhere along the way, the pursuit hollowed me out. One night, I stared at my reflection, lit only by the glow of my phone, and realized it owned me more than I owned myself. So I cut the cord, I stepped back, and in that sudden silence, in that unfamiliar stillness, the one I had been trying to outrun finally reached me. My name is Adam Reynolds. I am 27 years old, and if you had met me just a few years ago, you would have met a man who thought he was already at the top of the mountain. I was a tech guy from Los Angeles, the kind who lived off caffeine, late-night product launches, and the constant dopamine hits of notifications. I thought that was life. I thought that was purpose. But look, the truth is, I was drifting further and further from anything real. I grew up in a place where success was measured in square footage, GPA, and how early you learned to code. My parents loved me, they truly did, but the rhythm of our house was ambition. My father worked in entertainment finance, my mother in a hospital, and I was the kid who memorized computer parts before I memorized my own feelings. Sundays were for brunches, holidays were for family trips. God was never rejected in our home, but he wasn't exactly present either. We prayed twice a year, out of tradition more than faith, and no one ever asked what it meant to be alive in a deeper sense. Everyone was too busy becoming something, so I became something too. By the time I was 18, I had built 2 little apps, sold one, and got into a great program in Silicon Valley. People clapped for me, applauded me, called me driven, smart, promising. You hear those words enough times and you start convincing yourself you're complete. But beneath all the applause, there was this quiet ache I didn't have words for yet. It would come at night, usually when I put my phone down, a whisper inside me asking, "Is this it?" By 23, I was in a startup job that paid well, surrounded by people who lived for speed. Speed of innovation, speed of money, speed of distraction. It was like everyone around me was sprinting toward a finish line that kept moving further away, and I was terrified of being the one who slowed down. So I joined the race. I was drinking too much coffee, not enough water, skipping meals, skipping sleep, skipping anything that forced me to slow down and actually feel. And spiritually, I was empty. I don't even know how else to say it. To be honest, there were nights when I sat in my apartment, surrounded by expensive gear, devices glowing in the dark, and I felt like a ghost inside my own life. All the tech, all the toys, all the shiny things I once celebrated, none of it could fill the space inside me that kept widening. I had everything but myself. What made it worse was how loud the world had become. My phone was like a leash, notifications tugging me every few minutes, little vibrations that felt less like communication and more like control. And every tug took me further away from that hidden ache I didn't want to face. There were moments when I would sit in a boardroom surrounded by brilliant people and I would feel this sudden loneliness. Like I was sinking somewhere no one else could see. Everyone looked alive on the outside and exhausted on the inside, but no one dared to say it. And one day, after a product pitch that went well by every worldly metric, I went into a bathroom stall, locked the door, and cried, quietly. Because it made no sense. I was supposed to be happy. I was supposed to feel fulfilled. Instead, I felt like I was drifting further from the person I was meant to be. That's when the emptiness stopped whispering and started shouting. The shift started in the smallest, strangest way. Look, sometimes Allah places a moment in your life so gentle you almost miss it. For me, it was a Lyft ride. My driver was a middle-aged man with a soft voice and a calm face. He was listening to something that sounded like recitation, though I didn't know what it was at the time. It felt ancient. It felt grounding. Something inside me softened. I asked him, "What's that?" He said, "Quran." And then with this peaceful smile, he said, "It keeps the heart alive." That sentence echoed in me for days. It keeps the heart alive. Alive. I didn't know mine was dying. From that moment, I started noticing Islam everywhere. A coworker praying in a quiet corner, a podcast interview with a revert, a quote about God's mercy floating around social media, and then a video came up one night. Just a short clip of someone describing how Islam gave him stillness. Stillness. That word hit me like a punch. I didn't know stillness was something you could have. So I started researching. And the more I listened, the more something in my chest settled, like the noise was finally turning down. One evening, after weeks of reading and watching lectures, I decided to visit a mosque. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even know what I was expecting. I walked in with my heart racing, thinking everyone would stare, thinking I would be exposed as an outsider. But the first thing someone said to me was, "Hey brother, welcome. How can I help you?" Brother. No one had ever called me that before. He showed me around, answered my awkward questions, and then just let me sit. I sat at the back while people prayed, and I watched something unfold that felt older than time. The bowing, the stillness, the unity, the surrender. I felt something warm rising in my chest, like my heart was remembering something it had forgotten centuries ago. I kept coming back. And one night, I told the imam, "I think I believe this." He looked at me with this deep gentleness and said, "Then say it." My throat tightened, my hands shook, but I repeated the words. "I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger." The moment I said it, I felt like something heavy slid off my soul, like a door opened inside me. I cried, not from sadness, but from recognition. This is where everything changed for me. Life after Islam wasn't fireworks. It wasn't perfection. It was clarity. Suddenly, I could breathe again. I deleted social media, sold my car, moved out of my corporate apartment. I started waking up with a purpose that wasn't tied to profit or praise. My salah became the anchor points of my day, holding me in place when the world tried to pull me back into its speed. People around me didn't understand. Some friends mocked it. Some drifted away. But honestly, that loss felt like cleaning out a room that had been cluttered for years. My relationship with my parents took time. They worried at first. They feared I joined something extreme. But when they saw how calm I had become, how much more patient, more present, more kind, their fear softened. Islam reshaped everything. I learned discipline through prayer, humility through charity, strength through restraint, and love, real love, through connection to Allah. I'm still learning. I'm still stumbling. But now, even when I fall, I know where to return. If you're listening to this and you feel that quiet ache in your chest, that subtle pull towards something greater, don't ignore it. Ask yourself why the noise in your life feels so loud. Ask yourself why the world keeps telling you to run faster, to consume more, to stay distracted. And then sit with yourself. Let the silence speak. Look, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to understand everything. Just be honest with the truth that keeps tapping on the door of your heart. Allah doesn't ask for your perfection, He asks for your sincerity. And if you walk toward Him even a little, He runs toward you. My name is Adam Reynolds, and this is the story of how I stepped out of the world I built and walked into the peace I didn't know I was searching for. May Allah guide you protect you, and fill your heart with the stillness it has been craving. Amin.